Xerolithi. It's not one of the well-known islands. That's why it still has its wild charm. This scenery, it's daunting. It's so attractive in its harshness and its wildness. It doesn't feel right to have something stand out and say, you know, I'm here.
Hi, George. Is the house right in here? I mean, it's hidden. Can you see it?
Right there.
We're looking down at the house.
Yeah, you can see it, the undulations.
And the house is sort of spread across the land. It's in the earth and it's just sort of follows the earth.
It follows the slope of the plot. It's not that much pushed in, more as it was pulled out and then covered to make it part of the land.
How long has this been settled? I mean, you see these old stone walls and sort of terracing maybe, or?
The stone walls show where each property starts and ends. And these can be there 400 years, maybe less, maybe more. The islanders cultivated the land, but it doesn't seem that the land was that rich. You don't get to see this because it lasts very little, but once you see it, you're always in awe. Last summer there was a wildfire here, and all this was burned. Not the houses, because of the very strong winds, it passed by very quickly. Now, if there was a pergola like the ones that you see here you can see that that was burned.
And the Stonehouse stayed.
Yeah. So all this, the fire went past very fast and just burned like a piece of paper, the texture of nature.
And now it's back.
Yeah, and so many colors. You also have to notice very steep cliff. It's very daunting as well. It feels uninhabitable at the beginning, and then you bring in the house, which is a tamed thing. And how do you join the uninhabitable, the raw, with the tamed?
And you get the exact color, the rock really is the exact color of the rock above because it comes from here.
Yeah, the stone that's been used for the house is mainly produced by the excavation. The name of the house, which is Xerolithi, means dry stone. Xerolithia is these dry stones that you can see, for example, right across there. You see how it's like small steps going up the hill? What that was stone walls for it to be cultivated. Why dry stone? Because it was the cheap way to build it. You just place stones one on top of the other. You didn't use mortar. And we did the same here as well. If you notice, there's no mortar between the stones.
So how is that done today? Like, is it done by hand?
Yeah. And it's important to have good stone masonry workers, especially for the corners. The cornerstones are very important. And of course, the stones that are on top of the openings. You see how they're one huge piece and maybe stand out a little bit to keep the water from coming in.
And then you're looking for a fit between rocks?
You can't have large horizontal grooves. You need to break the groove and then move upwards. They look around, they see a fitting stone that would look great there. They chisel on it and they give it the shape and then they place it.
So it comes around.
Called it at the beginning a snake house. So it sort of moves away from the slope and then comes back in, creating different spaces within. So that you don't go deep into the ground, you spread out the facade of the plot.
I don't even know where the front door is. It's not going to be obvious. If you have a visitor, I guess nobody comes and rings your doorbell in these parts.
There's a lot of doors here, and this is the main entrance.
Great.
So the house would expand towards the sea here, and then it would progress back and create this larger veranda here. This is the main house, and this is a secondary.
Like a guest cottage.
Yeah.
But it's all connected. You actually kept the stone going across.
And quite difficult.
So is that still dry stone above there?
Well, yeah. So this is the main veranda. When there's no wind, this is a great place where everybody gathers. But in the off chance, which is not that off, actually, there's wind, we move into this back veranda where you're quite protected. I'm very proud about the way the bamboo was knitted, because no beam is parallel to another. Because all the beams, they follow the spine of the house, which also undulates. So there's no parallel beam. So the way bamboo was usually placed was you had this sheet of bamboo and you just spread it out. But here that wasn't possible because no beams were parallel. So each bamboo was pinned one by one here.
Pinned, so they're kind
Yeah, like small nails.
small nails. Okay.
We used this system, which is like a fishbone. It has an interesting knitted texture. It looks like a cloth. Which one was it? Here. That was the only question. How do you show which is the main entrance?
How do you show?
It doesn't.
That's not important.
No, in the end, it's not.
Look at that roof. So I didn't realize the inside would have the same bamboo.
It wasn't placed afterwards. It was built this way, so the concrete was poured on it and it dried in place.
So is this type of roof, I mean, is it traditional?
Yeah, even you'd see in poor constructions, like a poor man's construction, you would see bamboo placed diagonally. Even this way, the fishbone style, you would see this. But here, because no beam is parallel to the other, you have this vertebrae undulating throughout the entire house.
So this is the living room, dining room, kitchen, all one room. Yeah. Really open. Would normally the other side be open? Would you cross, or is that too much wind?
It gives you choices, depending on the wind. If the wind is from the back, you open a little bit from the back, and then you open everything from the front, and then this creates a draft. Or vice versa, you know, if you have the wind from the front.
And you have the protection of this back wall. Does that help too? So you open here and you're not going to get...
You're not going to get direct wind.
Which is something you have to think about on this island, I'm guessing. It feels windy.
All the Cyclades, if you see them on the map, they're in this passage from the north to Egypt. Okay. There we go. This is Athens right there. So there's the island right there. So the winds come from the north and they run down very quickly. They go all the way down to Egypt. So all these islands are in its path. 9 times out of 10, you have these strong northern winds. We're in the wild.
And there's wildflowers on the roof?
Yeah, it took a few years.
And it's not like really planned, right? It's not that it's so planted or...
The idea was that eventually wildflowers or vegetation would actually grow here. Yeah. So it would blend 100% with its natural environment.
No planting?
Well, there was some planting, but the wildflowers are just overgrowing everything and
Nature takes over.
There's no stopping her. I'm so proud the way they managed to construct this.
And even to be able to do this bamboo work is probably not something everyone can still do.
It's more design and a lot of work afterwards because each bamboo was pinned separately in place.
You see that the roof also slopes. There's no straight line with the roof.
Yeah, nothing is consistent. The top point of the house, there must be at least 1.5 meters of dirt above the ceiling.
So some of this undulation comes from dirt, not from the roof itself.
Yeah.
And here you see a chimney that looks traditional Cycladic type chimney. It fits.
Well, it wouldn't be rectangular. This is, you see how harsh the wind is?
It's blowing, the wind blows it and grows like this. I mean, that's strong wind to be blowing that.
Yeah, and okay, these are flowers. Of course, they're going to bend, but the same effect, if there was a tree, it would have the same effect. But there aren't any trees because they can't withstand the pressure of the wind.
Yeah. And there's an opening over here.
Yeah, it's like a light well. It brings light to the spaces underneath.
It's surprisingly light, this house, for being all of stone. When you first approach, I feel like all stone, but when we get up here, it feels almost alive in some way.
Yeah. Colors are incredible. Oh, I just noticed that there was...
That's not from the fire, though.
That was from the fire.
It's from the fire, just little bits.
Yeah.
Oh, so it really just jumps, the fire here.
Yeah.
You hadn't seen that before?
No, I hadn't. This can be considered a scratch or a bruise because nothing else happened to the house.
So these flowers just last, they're a short time.
Yeah. They're probably in a month or so, they're going to be all dead and dried out. And you're only going to see these semi-spherical thorny bushes.
The house disappears from here. You don't see it. This could almost just be stone walls and wildflowers. I mean, it looks like the surrounding countryside completely here.
In the absence of man.
The absence of man, that's exactly what this house is. Maybe that's the name. So you really did carve out in just like a little cocooned patio here. It's almost an underground patio. Is this more because of the winds?
To have such an option to be protected by the wind. And you know how the wind just blows right above it. And you get just enough wind to feel cool. And the reason this was designed this way is because it's so tall. It's probably 6 meters at its tallest point. We broke it down into two, and we also gave it a tilt to make it feel less pressing against the outdoor area. Feels like it opens up.
So the house really is quite narrow.
So this is the main bedroom.
It's a small bedroom, but it's all you need because you have this huge view.
And you spend
Right?
most of the time outdoors.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the bathroom's great too, actually. It's just all sort of organic and curvy.
Yeah, it has to follow the same characteristics of the rest of the house. It has texture, cement mortar, cementoconia, with a bit of color, wood to match the rest of the house, and the undulations here. These are some interesting details. Niches.
I love the color, these sort of terracottas.
I like how there's a window, so if you get some of the outside even in the bathroom. And also the roof, it just continues.
It goes throughout the entire house.
It's a very consistent house. Is there bamboo that grows on the island?
Yeah, there's plenty of bamboo here on the island. It's an easy plant because it grows fast and then you just have to dry it out. There's some treatment that you need to take it through so it doesn't have termites, bugs.
Because the best window of the house.
The small windows are for creating a draft inside the house. They need to be at a different level from the other openings. It needs to be small. So when there's high pressure in the back, you open up the window and then you open up the front one and this creates a draft.
It's not a very big house. It feels bigger from the outside from above, but it's...
It's ground level, 180 square meters.
Oh, that includes the guest part.
Yeah. We spend more of the allowance towards the main area where everybody gathers and less for the bedrooms because this is just a place that you sleep. Yeah, this is a small guest bathroom.
Oh, look at that faucet. What's the... Wow, so it comes right out of the ceiling. Is that because you needed to put the plumbing there or just
No.
for fun?
For fun.
I love how the material just continues.
It drapes everything here, all the built-in furniture. It goes from the floor to the wall to the sill, and even the light fixtures are built in to make everything vanish as much as possible and less obvious. This is the opening of the light well. The plant has died.
It does make you realize how harsh things are here. So now I'm seeing that, it does really undulate.
Yeah, it becomes slender and thinner. The area here is smaller because we needed a cozier salon.
It's like to shape rooms in a way. So this is probably the narrowest, it's just the width of these windows.
Exactly. And then these walls come and meet the other walls across, which is the guest room areas.
And again, you see the small windows, so also for ventilation.
Very important because we try to avoid using air conditioning because it's nice. It's better if you use natural methods. Remember the chimney from above?
Oh, right, it sort of matches the chimney. It comes right down. The amount that we're into the hill, too, probably helps.
It needed to be closer by the slope so it wouldn't be impacted by the wind. It would be more protected. The further away you move, the more you're open to the wind you are. You try to keep the traditional look, but at the same time give it a little modern twist.
Quite literally twisted.
Wow, I love that color. There was a decision, of course, about all these balcony doors. Why not just have one or two? But the view is so impressive that you need to feel protected in the house while at the same time being out and more in touch with this scenery, which is amazing. It's not something that you would see in a traditional old house. These large openings, traditionally, the windows were even smaller and the doors were even smaller.
For weather protection.
Mm-hmm. And plus there was a cost involved. So it was cheaper to make something smaller. And people were smaller. Yeah. You see how the beams also have cracks in them? There's plenty. I like that. You'd see even cracks on the floor.
The floor's great because it could almost be earthen or clay or something. It's very warm, and I think because it's not too polished, everything just feels like it fits the...
It looks handmade. And actually the truth is, you know, you'd see the person here with his tools spreading the material. You can see that there is a little bit of texture here, which is something that we like. The mistake is always nice.
Is there a right way to make mistakes in this case?
No, that's the great thing. You can't replicate the accident.
And you want it to happen.
Yeah, embrace it.
It's a living house.
This is the guest house. This pops out because, again, it has more space. It has 2 bedrooms, one on this side and one on the other side. And
you see there's a bathroom, similar bathroom.
Similar style.
There's something really comforting, sort of warming about this the rounded shapes and the...
Like the womb.
Right, a cocooning feeling, and you're not shutting anything off. Like you don't make this all the way up. Like it's...
Yeah, you don't even need a shower curtain. The fact that water is gonna go all over the place doesn't matter because it's just collected and it dries out very easily.
But I like this platform because it feels like just a continuation of the floor. So you did 3 beds just on a platform. Keep it simple, but...
More children or guests. There aren't any air conditioning units. So the fan and the small windows for drafts, more than enough. Yeah. And you have another independent bedroom. But also it could work for a family. So you have the children right next door. You have the couple here.
Now you see the end wall.
It was interesting to have it present within the house.
And always cutouts, always little, right?
Yeah, you see how we use slate here for shelves. The minimal approach was to have large, actually, surfaces, not a lot of detail, and just let you be within the space and absorb the great view outside. Yeah, this is the end of the house, the far left side of the house. It slowly emerges, it slowly vanishes in the earth. I'm always amazed at the background. It makes you feel so small, so minuscule and unimportant.
Nature's really present on this island, really present. I can see why people come too, maybe you want to feel that way a little bit. I mean, just sort of...
Drop off grid and get in touch.
Yeah, you're forced to. I mean, either blown away or storms or...